morning and I have just arrived at Loughborough University, where I'm staying at the Elite Athletes Centre and Hotel. I've been invited here this weekend to participate in the training focus camp run by Running Trip, who you may remember I went out to Kenya with earlier on in the year. The camp starts tomorrow morning and it's basically an all-inclusive camp where you come along and you learn from some top coaches and experts. It's a weekend crammed full of practical workshops, seminars, Q&As, all of the learning and the good stuff to hopefully take home and implement into my own running, or you could implement into your running. Amazing team on board here. The head coach is James Thie. He's assisted by Callum Jones and Gavin Smith. And there's also the sports performance specialist, Matt Bergen. So yeah, looking forward to a cram-packed weekend with bits of running, workshops, and discussing the other aspects of running, including biomechanics and injury prevention. The weekend is aimed at all abilities, it's for all athletes. So I'm really looking forward to finding out what I can take away and how it will help me with my running. Learning more and gaining more knowledge. Knowledge is power. So this evening I've been sent the itinerary for tomorrow and it is looking jam-packed. It all kicks off at 9 AM in the morning, and we've got in there, we've got running workouts, we've got seminars, we've got coffee breaks and lunch breaks, which is always really good. The food here is included. So yeah, looking forward to tomorrow.
And then in March this year we did our first camp here in Loughborough, where again we're lucky to have James along. So yeah, it's great to have you guys here now for what is our second Loughborough camp. James Thie.
Excellent. Guys, thanks a lot for coming today, this weekend. It's always an honour to be invited back. It means I obviously did an okay job last time out. So as Gavin's kind of alluded to a little bit my background, so I was lucky enough to go through the different age groups when I was younger. I ran with my local school, my local club. Found that running kind of suited my personality in terms of I kind of liked a little bit of the lonesome part of it, but also like there's a team aspect to running as well. And also you kind of like, one thing we will talk about, is obviously, what you put in is often what you get out. So I kind of found that in a really nice structured way as I went through the different age groups. My coaching journey started 14 years ago, coaching at the university where I work now, and it started looking after people that no one else would coach. There were people that had gone to other coaches and they'd been turned away. There were people that weren't sure whether they wanted to join a group or have a coach. And that's kind of where I started. It was a really good kind of learning and kind of background of having people that just wanted to learn, wanted to get a bit better. And that kind of organically grew. And then suddenly it had a group and it had international athletes, and we've had athletes that have gone on to some pretty special things. But also I've been involved in different projects where we've been involved with BBC projects where we've taken runners from absolutely zero running in a few weeks, or 17 weeks to be precise, to running half marathons. I have a running group on a Wednesday that is all abilities, and everyone that steps on the track, sometimes it's the first time they've been on an athletics track. But then other days of the week I'm looking after internationals where we're trying to make Olympic Games, World Championships and beyond that. So the great thing with our sport is it's all inclusive. You can stand on the start line with world champions, you can run the same distance as a world champion, and from this weekend you can learn little bits and tips and whatever level you are from high end, but there's fundamentals that go throughout our sport, okay? And you've got to think of yourself like a performance athlete. And so kind of breaking it down and start thinking about the key ingredients that go into performance athlete. Who trains here? Who goes out to run to get slower? Good, okay, right, you're in the right room, okay? Therefore, you're trying to get better, but you're not trying to get better randomly, you're trying to get better through key ingredients. You can get better by thinking about things that you're doing well, but also thinking about things that you can add to it. So for me, I kind of broke it down into looking at performance and then kind of putting some kind of key things to maybe think about in your own running. So ultimately, performance, if you're thinking about getting better, the only way to do that is to obviously, we want to get better, so obviously measuring ourselves against
and that would fit them down to the ground. Or you can do half the knee. So it depends if you've got any knee issues, but predominantly, if you can, keep it nice and controlled. So you can forget what anyone else is doing, see what you're doing, okay? There's some good attempts there, I like it. And like, stop, because that's why I bought the whistle, okay?
So we're currently doing a session, and the session was 8 minutes continuous hills, 2 minutes rest, 8 minutes tempo, 2 minutes, and repeat again. And now we're on the last bit of tempo around the ground. Cruising, son.
Cruising, not cruising. So catch your breath, catch your drink. We'll give a couple of minutes just so our heart rate to drop a little bit naturally. And then what we will do is we'll do one lap the other way. We've done enough of that way round. We know that way inside out. More tempo efforts. They can be more, half marathon civic, getting ready for a half marathon. They can be more tempo, a 10k civic, getting ready for a 10k. But yeah, that kind of tempo. At 8 minutes, you can't blag 8 minutes. You really, you felt that probably as you start to get into your running, that you actually, anything over kind of 6 minutes of running, you really get a benefit from. So, and going in and out also. We've done something like that similarly before. Do you normally do hills, or do you normally do something tempo? Do you ever mix them together?
So the first part of the morning is done. It's now lunchtime. This morning we had a really interesting seminar with James Thie. Then we've just had a coaching session where we did the hills tempo combo. So that was really good. Now it's lunchtime, and then after lunch we've got another seminar and then another running workshop. Yeah, beautiful weather, which is nice.
And on the top is the big cheese made from coconut water.
Great. Thanks.
It was nice, thank you. What's that?
Chicken schnitzel, any allergy intolerance?
No.
That's fine, go.
Oh yeah? Yeah.
Pasta?
Yeah, pasta please.
Tomato sauce on the pasta?
Yes. Maybe over his shoulder. I'm trying to work out what team it is behind you, James. Do you know?
Yeah, it's a little junior creatine.
Yeah.
Cupcake, slight differences in obviously what's needed in those. And obviously flavours, I've gone way off the analogies now, so flavours everything. So
I'm nervous now, I'm not sure if his analogy is right.
I know, I'm panicking now. So, session A. Again, you can see my lecturing skills coming out here, so we know what we're covering today. So, obviously, why we plan, how we plan, and what we plan, okay? So, obviously, the old famous saying, why we plan, basically the old Benjamin Franklin quote that I do like, so if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So again, it comes back to our first point today, the performance is, kind of knowing what you're going to try and perform at, or when, or with which event. But obviously within that, somewhere along the lines, having a plan, having a structure. Where I want my runners to get to here, okay? At the end of that block, I have an idea. But for me, it's a bit like predicting this week what coat you were going to wear, okay? On any day. So it's very difficult to predict next week exactly what coat we're going to need because things are going to change. But I have a general idea what the weather's going to be like next week because experience tells me that. Obviously, there's certain information electronically that can tell me that, and I can make good decisions. But I can't absolutely say next week it's going to be 100% rain, therefore you must wear a raincoat. That's my analogy for that. So there's a big race. So in a block of training, this is them starting a block of training here, and this is training peaks, plotting their fitness, increasing, and then after the race then we've had another block, and then it builds back up again, and then it's had another break, and then build back up again, and ultimately then this line here is trying to predict the fitness, and this is obviously from an
about, I'll show you some data, I'll show you the results of the athlete in a second, so you can see it actually kind of makes sense in relation. This is their kind of long run, this is their longest run of the week plotted as well, so you can see certain times where, and these are kind of races there, so the like, longest runs go to the races. So you can see where you're gradually building up, but it isn't kind of like, you can see it's not just a line that goes up. And if you take This is coordination 101 right here. So if the weather's horrible tomorrow, just remember because I'm not there, okay?
Taking it to Valencia. So back in the room after another practical session. This time we were looking at form, videoing ourselves and assessing what our form looked like, doing some strides around the track. And that was really helpful, really interesting stuff to learn, all about things to look out for in your form, and ways to improve your form. Yeah, really good, helpful stuff. Just come back to the room now. We've got some free time until dinner. Just gonna have a look through. We've got given a goodie bag. And it's full of some bits and pieces. I've already had a flapjack.
Talked about how I did become a little bit more confident in sort of finding the purpose, and I went out the rail and I lost it. Within about all that positives I talked about, I kind of arrived in a place called Loughborough, which is a real place, believe it or not. Strange name, but I arrived in and was like, I was teaching yesterday, and I'm just flown to Sao Paulo, and then on Loughborough, like it just doesn't make sense. I'm a teacher, like what's going on? I was in front of the class, literally 48 hours before, teaching a lesson, and here I am at the training camp for the holding camp.
Is that like, what do they call it? Imposter syndrome.
Exactly what I was going to want to when I come to the village. So